Lesson 4. In this lesson, we will talk about some reasons to prove a parallelogram and also the way to apply them. So let's go back to page number 8. In the last two lessons, we talk about the properties of parallelogram. That means if you know they are parallelograms already, you can apply these properties. So in conclusion, if you are given parallelogram, you know all these properties. But today, we are going in a reverse way. That means, if you see all these, you can conclude the given quadrilateral must be a parallelogram. Boys and girls, let's turn to page number 14. On page number 14, you can see the first reason, opposite sides equal. That means you have a quadrilateral, but you do not know whether this is a parallelogram or not. But if you find out the opposite sides they are equal, you can conclude this must be a parallelogram. Secondly, if you are given a quadrilateral and you find out the opposite angles they are equal, you can also conclude this must be a parallelogram. Similarly, for the third reason, if you find out diagonals bisect each other, this must be parallelogram. I think you have no big problem for all these three because they are just the opposites of the properties you have learned in the last two lessons. But for proving parallelogram, we have one more condition, which is the fourth. If you find out one of the pair of the opposite sides, they are equal and they are parallel, you can also conclude this is a parallelogram. That means altogether, we have 4 different reasons for proving whether a quadrilateral is a parallelogram or not. But the bad news is, you have to remember all the 4 reasons here. That means opposite sides equal, opposite angles equal, diagonals bisect each other, and opposite sides equal and parallel. Now, look at one of the examples on page number 16. Please look at example 4.4. Now, in the figure, ABCD is a quadrilateral. That means we do not know whether this is a parallelogram or not. This is just a normal quadrilateral. And you know AB and DC, they are same in length. You are given 2 angles. Now, please prove whether this is a parallelogram or not. Boys and girls, if you go back to look at the reasons, reason number 1, it concerns opposite sides. So it may be useful because if you look at this example, we also have opposite pairs of parallel lines. How about reason 2? It is not useful to us because it's talking about opposite angles. And the third reason is also not useful because it's about diagonals. So, how about the last? It may be useful as well because it's about one pair of opposite sides, which is equal and parallel. So, number 4 and number 1, the 2 reasons may be useful to us. So let's go back to the example. Now, you are given 2 angles, 104 and 76. And if you think about these 2 numbers carefully, the sum of them, which is 180. And if you look at this shape, you can see a letter C. So the sum of them, which is 180, that means this is a big hint for you, telling you they are parallel according to interior angle supplementary. So if they are the same and they are also parallel, I can conclude this must be a parallelogram according to the fourth reason. So how to present your work? First of all, find the sum of B and C, which is 180. So you can conclude AB parallel to DC. So they are parallel. And after that, if you have AB and DC, they are parallel, and they are also equal, which is given. So according to the reason opposite sides equal and parallel, I know ABCD must be a parallelogram. Boys and girls, today we talk about 4 reasons: opposite sides equal, opposite angles equal, diagonals bisect each other, opposite sides equal and parallel. They are all for proving a parallelogram. And we also talk about one of the examples for applying all the 4 reasons. So in the next lessons, we will further discuss some more harder problems. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.